Hello MotoGP fans. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marc Marquez returned to a MotoGP bike at the Sepang test and delivered carefully measured first impressions, short runs, conservative management of his recovering shoulder, and initial work on a radical new aero package. He topped the day's timesheets but stressed patience. Sepang is about rebuilding laps, confirming fitness, and finding consistency. Here are that explain what the day really meant. Pecco Bagnaia finished Tuesday's opening Sepang test day with cautious optimism. Lots of laps, new aero work, and a feeling that the GP26 is moving in the right direction. He enjoyed the power and pace from lap 1, but he was careful to flag the usual testing caveats: short runs, mixed programs, and the need to turn early positives into race-long consistency. Below are that explain where he and Ducati stand after day 1 in Malaysia. Quartararo's Sepang test ended early after a high-speed crash on Tuesday morning. The 2021 world champion returns to the paddock nursing a broken finger and a sore arm, opting to sit out the remaining 2 days to be fit for Buriram. Below that explain the crash, the decision to stop testing, the team implications, and what it means for Yamaha's V4 development. Davide Tardozzi addressed swirling transfer rumors at Sepang, including talk that Pedro Acosta could join Ducati in 2027, and gave a clear roadmap. Ducati's immediate priority is closing Marc Marquez's deal, then the paddock market will be considered. Below are that unpack Tardozzi's stance, the timing, and what it means for Bagnaia, Acosta, and Ducati's short-term thinking. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. After 121 days away from a MotoGP machine, Marquez admitted the first laps were awkward. He kept his runs deliberately short while chasing usable feedback, prioritizing getting comfortable over immediate performance. The opening hours were about feel and body response, not headline lap times, and that framed his whole day: measured, patient, and medically cautious. Yeah, it was a tricky day in the morning, especially to get the feedback. In other words, the early work was diagnostic, not aggressive, exactly how you'd expect a comeback to be handled. As the day unfolded, Marquez loosened up and the session shifted from simple laps to experimenting with aerodynamic concepts. He reported feeling more relaxed in the afternoon and began to try aero items that changed the bike's balance. Early steps in a development program that could pay off later, but which demand careful deliberation now. But in the afternoon, we started to try some aerodynamic things, because I started to feel more relaxed on the bike. That's an important progression, from basic conditioning to meaningful technical input, exactly what teams need from their lead rider in testing. Above all else, Marquez kept returning to the same theme: physical readiness. Hitting competitive speed is secondary to a sound, repeatable physical base. He balanced short, sharp runs to protect the shoulder with the need to gather useful laps for both technical and fitness preparation. Topping the times was encouraging. Long-term consistency is the objective. But the most important thing is that the shoulder is working in a good way. That line tells you everything about the agenda. Speed is welcome, but it's subordinate to rehabilitation and sustainable fitness. Marquez and Ducati tested a radical aero package, but he warned the team that aero gains come at the price of big balance changes. With the Thai test and the Thai GP closely scheduled, the factory must be prudent, choose aero pieces that deliver real, controllable benefit rather than chasing marginal gains that destabilize the bike's behavior under race conditions. It's true that we need to be super patient with new aerodynamics, because the bike balance changes a lot. That's a development philosophy in a sentence: be bold in testing, but surgical in implementation. Marquez's Sepang return was a textbook mix of caution and progress, fastest on the day, yet deliberately conservative in approach. The headline, "The shoulder is working in a good way," is promising, but the bigger story is incremental. Keep building laps, refine the aero choices, and aim for consistency rather than single lap glory. Sepang will continue to be a recovery and development workshop, and Ducati will be watching each measured step. Bagnaia's headline from Sepang is straightforward. The initial balance of the GP26 felt good. After a difficult 2025 season, the priority was to re-establish confidence and a workable starting point for setup work. And the first day allowed exactly that. Steady laps across tire reps, baseline setup checks, and immediate comparisons between aero packages. For a rider who spent much of last year hunting front-end feel, returning to the bike and finding a broadly positive balance is a crucial psychological and technical win. It means the team can move from damage control into genuine development work rather than wholesale fixes. Right now, the balance is positive. Beyond setup metrics, Bagnaia repeatedly underlined the simple human truth: riding a MotoGP bike still exhilarates him. That raw reminder, the power, the acceleration, the physical sensation, matters because confidence begins with enjoyment. When a rider trusts the machine's performance envelope, they give clearer, more useful feedback to engineers. That in turn accelerates meaningful improvements. Bagnaia used the morning to reconnect with those sensations and then layered testing work on top of that regained feel. The speed and the power the bike gives you is something incredible. One of the day's big technical stories was Ducati's new radical fairing, but Bagnaia's take was pragmatic rather than headline-seeking. He reported similar lap times with both aero options and stress trade-offs. Some areas gain, others lose. That equivalence in single-lap performance exposes a development choice. Accept a package that offers occasional gains but a different balance, or keep the older feel that's proven predictable. Bagnaia made it clear he'd still have doubts if the race were tomorrow, which is precisely the kind of rider honesty engineers need before committing to a specification. If the race was tomorrow, I could be with some doubts about the front fairing. Finally, Bagnaia framed the immediate roadmap: understanding, not headlines. Sepang is about gathering controlled data, isolating effects on different tires, and finding consistent lap-by-lap performance that translates to race distance. He rightly flagged Thailand as the next target where pieces need to be selectable improvements rather than experimental surprises. The message to the team and the fans was steady: enjoy the positive signs, but concentrate on making them repeatable under race pressure. So right now we just need to focus more on understanding new things. Pecco Bagnaia's Sepang day was encouraging: positive balance, strong sensations, and useful aero comparisons. But it was also a reminder of testing reality. Early pace doesn't automatically become race pace. Ducati's task is to convert Bagnaia's good feeling into consistent front-end confidence across tires and race distances. If they can, the GP26 promise shown in Malaysia could translate into a far calmer, far more competitive season for Pecco. After a high-speed fall at Turn 5, Quartararo made a pragmatic call with his team. No point pushing through 2 more days of running when recovery for the next test matters more. It's a sensible choice. Short-term data is valuable, but not at the risk of aggravating an injury that could compromise the start of the season. The decision reflects a clear medical and sporting priority: be ready for Buram rather than chase extra laps in Malaysia. So, we've decided to stop for the next 2 days of test. I think it's for the best. Race preparedness takes precedence. The physical toll was non-trivial. Quartararo left the medical center with a damaged finger and some soreness in his arm. Those kinds of injuries aren't just painful, they disrupt throttle control, grip, and the tiny, precise inputs riders rely on every lap. Yamaha's choice to rest him now is aimed at ensuring those functions are fully recovered by the next outing, where meaningful V4 development work will continue. The arm is a bit sore, but the finger is broken. That blunt line explains the medical logic behind the rest. A finger fracture is not something to rush. Quartararo described the accident as a straight, high-speed loss. No dramatic preceding drama captured in his words, just the sudden end many riders dread. Fast offline excursions into gravel mean heavy entry speeds and a long, uncontrolled slide. It's fortunate he escaped worse harm. The ambiguity in don't really know what happened. Matters to engineers too. Finding causes is crucial to deciding whether the incident was a one-off or points to setup, tire or aero traits that need addressing. I lost it pretty straight, don't really know what happened. That uncertainty will send a small investigative task to the garage, replicate, review telemetry, and ensure safety margins. Beyond the crash, the bigger narrative is Yamaha's V4 project. Quartararo admitted the package is not where the team needs it to be. Sepang was meant to be a step forward, but the truth is development still demands heavy lifting. His measured optimism about recovering for Buram is matched by a candid admission: more work is required on pace and balance. Yamaha will use the data already collected and the upcoming Buram test to press on, but losing a lead rider's seat time in Sepang is a setback the factory will want to limit. We have to work hard because we are still very, very far. Plain talk from the rider, honesty that focuses the team on what really matters, tangible progress, not press release optimism. Fabio Quartararo's Sepang exit is a mixed result: relief that the injuries aren't worse, frustration at lost seat time, and a clear signal that Yamaha's V4 still needs meaningful development. The next chapter is Buram, February 21st to 22nd, where Quartararo hopes to be fully fit and where Yamaha must turn testing into measurable gains. For now, the priority is recovery, analysis, and smarter, safer steps forward. With multiple headlines claiming Ducati already has plans for 2027, Tardozzi cut through speculation by repeating the team's hierarchy of tasks: secure the reigning champion first, then address everything else. That means no early commitments, no panic transfers, just one focused negotiation at a time. It's a classic risk management approach for a factory that needs certainty before it reshuffles its rider puzzle. In this moment, we are trying to finalize the contract with Marc. In short, the market is noisy, but Ducati's checklist is simple. Tardozzi acknowledged progress, talks are advanced and optimism is high, yet he emphasized sequencing. Even if an agreement is imminent, Ducati won't open other conversations until that main box is ticked. That protects the team from last-minute reversals and ensures the negotiating table isn't overloaded with hypothetical scenarios while the Marquez signature is still live. It seems we can finalize it soon. But first of all, we have to do this, and then we will talk about the others. That's the message, one contract at a time, starting with the priority. On why talks are careful rather than rushed, Tardozzi gave a revealing line: with a rider of Marquez's caliber, minutiae matter. Contract length, protections, and the rider's long-term role aren't just legalities. They shape development, team stability, and the brand story. Ducati is treating the renewal like strategic architecture, not a quick box tick. I think there are small details that with such a champion, you have to discuss deeply. Negotiations at this level are as much about alignment and trust as about salary or duration. Finally, Tardozzi addressed the human side. Pecco Bagnaia remains valued, and rumors about Pedro Acosta or other moves are secondary until the Marquez chapter closes. The team won't be distracted by market theater. They'll act only once the primary variable, Marquez's status, is fixed. That leaves room for multiple outcomes but sends a clear signal to riders and managers: wait for Ducati's final word. But until Ducati has finalized Marc, we don't want to talk with other riders, because maybe in the last moment he will not sign and we will have to have a different thought. Conservative, deliberate, and designed to avoid messy last-minute ripples. Tardozzi's message at Sepang was steady and strategic. Close Marc Marquez's deal first, then manage the rest. That stance cools down immediate speculation about Pedro Acosta and reiterates support for Pecco Bagnaia while emphasizing prudent sequencing. In the short term, the paddock will watch two things closely: whether Ducati finalizes Marquez, and how quickly they pivot to resolve the rest of the 2027 jigsaw once that anchor piece is secured. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!